has led the charge towards carbon neutrality and has brought some of his Hollywood friends along with him. But there is more to the story, something that Al Gore doesn't advertise. When it comes to carbon emissions, Al Gore and his liberal friends, well, they have a dirty little secret. Private planes. Take, for instance, your typical commercial jet, a Boeing 737. Well, it seats a maximum of 189 people. It burns 800 gallons of fuel per hour and emits 16,880 pounds of carbon dioxide per hour in the air. Now take a Gulfstream 400, one of the more common brands of private jet. Well, it seats a maximum of only 19 people. It burns 415 gallons of fuel an hour and emits 8,785 pounds of carbon dioxide per hour. That means per passenger, a Boeing 737 emits 89 pounds of carbon dioxide an hour, while a Gulfstream and similar private jets emit 462 pounds of carbon dioxide per passenger per hour. In short, flying in a private jet does more than 4 times the carbon emission damage to the environment than flying a regular commercial jet. So if you're worried about your quote-unquote carbon footprint on the environment, and if you're concerned about carbon neutrality, the last thing that you should be doing is flying on private jets. Sit and coach. You might save a polar bear. But that doesn't seem to stop the environmental elites. The Reuters news agency reports that Europe's largest private jet operator recently came under fire from environmentalists about the 50 flights that he booked for clients to Davos, Switzerland for the World Economic Forum. Yes, that's the same forum where the, quote, global climate change was on the top of the agenda. This sort of hypocrisy among environmental elites is not uncommon. The same crowd that once landed the nickname limousine liberals, well, should now be considered Gulfstream liberals. They are those who lecture us about the dangers posed by climate change and then fly awfully close to the sun in their beautiful, luxurious private jets. During a 2003 interview on Hannity and Combs, for example, I confronted activist Robert F. Kennedy Jr. about this double standard. Do you use a private jet?
You know what? I'm not going to dignify that question because it's not...
Because you do. And that's the point. You're going to lecture us about a car, and you're traveling around the world in a private jet. Well, and I find that hypocritical. Hypocrisy is an issue.
Well, first of all, I don't travel around the world in a private jet. Have I ever been in a private jet? Yes, I have been in a private jet. I can't tell you. I can't remember when the last time was.
It wasn't until a later commercial break that I learned that Kennedy was leaving our New York studio that night to board, you guessed it, a private plane. By the way, where are you going after the show? All right, I'll let you off the hook. I don't mind if we have greater fuel efficiency. I don't mind alternative sources of energy.
I told Sean on the ad that I'm taking a private plane from Teterboro to Florida.
I didn't. I let you off the hook. That was your business to tell that, which is a little ironic. So where does Al Gore fit into all of this? Certainly the man who has led the noble fight to save our very planet from its own destruction would never personally act in a way that would damage the very thing he's fighting for. The man who evoked the iced tea defense could never be accused of hypocrisy, could he? Well, guess again. During the 2000 campaign, when Al Gore was running to be President of the United States, and along the way giving speeches about the environment, the former vice president traveled on private planes more than a few times. According to the nonpartisan Center for Responsive Politics, the Gore campaign filed disbursement reports with the Federal Elections Commission as required by law that document his use of private jets belonging to various businesses and corporations. The filings, which are publicly accessible, they reveal that during the period of January of 1999 and January of 2000, Gore reimbursed 5 groups and corporations for 16 flights on private jets. It is 2 of these dates that caught our attention.